All right, y'all. Another night. It's like 10 o'clock. I'm starting on this thing, but I'm going to get more cage work done on this here. I might get the air jacks mounted. We'll just have to see how tonight goes, but I'm getting down. All right, so I got these all tacked in, heavy tacks, like halfway around the bar tacks. And then off camera, I went ahead and did some work on this air jack mount. Got those coped. I just used the hole saw for those. Got the lower mount tacked in just so you can kind of see. And then I'm just gonna lay this next group of piping. So I'm gonna duplicate this bar again on both sides. And I measured about 8 inches center up, so that'll go out and that'll do basically the same thing, and that'll give me 2 good strong frame rails, and I'll have uprights, kind of like maybe 3 of those, or maybe I'll V it, or I don't know, I might get crazy with it, but basically I need to add a lot of structure. So, and in doing so, it's going to add a lot of bars, but as long as I keep them out of the way and keep them clear of our feet, we're gonna be good. Obviously, hopefully this air jack deal right here isn't gonna affect my pedals. I'm still gonna be in good shape, I think. If not, I mean, I can cut it back out. It's not a big deal, and move them to the outside. So I'll just have to see how all this goes. Because I can always move them. You know, I just got it tacked in here, so I can always move it to this side and have more room. I just wanted to put the header there, so I'm trying not to build myself into a corner on that deal. But we'll see. I mean, I'm still on the outside of where the firewall was, so I think we're gonna be fine. But now I'm going to get another piece of tubing, bend 2 of these jimmies. The exact same. I got my measurements wrote out, so I should go nice and quick and get those bent, get those tacked in here, and keep on rolling. right, so bending mistake number 2 on the NASROD. It happens. We're not perfect, right? What I did was I accidentally bent this 180 degrees the wrong way. So I figured, well, it's already trash. Let's put it back in there and see if we can bring it back. And it actually didn't do too bad, except it put a little crease here. So this piece now becomes junk at about $10 a foot. This is 5-6 feet, almost 7 feet. So it's, you know, $65, $70 mistake. Luckily, I'll be able to hopefully use the straight at least, and maybe the short run here. And I mean, it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. It is just part of the game. So I'm going to cut another piece and start over. All right, everybody, it's about 12:30 at night. I'm going to wrap it up for this evening. I got pretty far, I think. I got the main hoop and the sides all welded in, and I got these upright bars on all four of those tacked in. These are about half welded, front and back. I still need to make these last little supports that kick out. No big deal there. I have them all measured, and I cope one side and cap it just like I did here on the bottom. So yeah, and then off of this bar here, I'm going to go straight forward into here. That measurement's perfect. This one here, I'm going to come up and forward into there. That's perfect for that. And eventually I'll have a bar come out from up here and drop down in the front. But for now, I'm gonna call it a night. I do have to cut these and bend different door bars with door bar swing outs because everything's great except for the seats don't fit. I got some pretty big Kirkies in this thing. The passenger side one is really big. I think I could probably get the driver's side one to fit. Maybe with a little bit of trimming or whatever, but the passenger side one will definitely not fit without butchering it. I don't want to do that because I have really nice covers for it. So I'm just going to build swing outs. It'll make more room getting in and out too. So it's just going to work better anyway. So I'll have it like detach here and swing with the door. And if I put it right here, it should swing parallel. Should swing parallel with the door when the door opens, which will be really nice because then you get in and, you know, swing this, pin it, swing the door, close it. And then that way, even if the door does come open or whatever, you have the swing out. You have the door bar to protect you from falling out. But you have a seatbelt and all that crap too, so that's not a big deal. But this is coming together exactly how I want it. Like, I'm just, you know, just so happy with it. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do as far as a trans tunnel and all that from here. A part of me really wants to put a tube from here all the way up and kick it out to up here. Yeah, part of me really wants to do that. And then I'm going to have something that goes, I might relocate this shifter to the center. It ain't that big of a deal, just cutting this tube and swing it up and letting it all shift over. And re-welding the mounts to the torque tube. I think I want to do that to give myself a centered shifter rather than an offset shifter because this is a small enough compartment. I don't need it that close to the seat. And it'll also allow me to run a tube from there all the way up. Because I do want to run it up to the dash bar and have like a center console, like I said before, to put maybe a screen or something in there. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about how this is going. This main hoop bar, I'm going to probably attach here and have it come up, literally just straight up and across. Man, this is like, even zoomed out, this is not enough zoom. But it'll come up and across and drop down. That's how I'm going to do that. It's not exactly ideal to not have it go all the way to the bottom for my liking, but I might put another drop here for support and have it kick back and come up, just to get it to fit up and tighter away from the seats. Again, having this cab lift off is hard because it is wider at the top than at the bottom, so I have to rethink all of how tight this stuff can be. Now, the taper in the front is no big deal, you know, going across the front and down, because, you know, I'm gonna have a bar come across here, make this bend right here, and then bend again and come out across to the front. So that's gonna be cool. I'm not too worried about all that. That's gonna be easy. It's just the main hoop, you know, coming up, because I would like to have it right in the middle of this corner, kick back and come up and over, but there's no support there, so I'm gonna have to put a support there, I think, and this support here, which it ain't gonna hurt it. It's just, you know, no one's gonna see it, so it ain't gonna look goofy. I think I'm just overthinking that, but so far I'm loving it. It's time for me to go to bed. I have an early doctor's appointment, but I feel good. I feel good that I'm getting back out here. My back hurts, everything hurts, but I feel good that I'm actually getting out here and doing this. The NASROD needs it. I need it for my mental stability. And we need the content. So, yeah, I think I'm going to kick some ass on it tomorrow night again. Get all this little stuff done and maybe start finishing. I'd like by the end of the week to have the whole interior cage done. So then I can pull the body off and like work on like mounting the seats easier and doing all that stuff easier. So, but yeah, this thing's coming out really sick. I love it. So, all right, y'all, it's Friday. I'm going to work on the NASROD. I got to get this cage done. My goal was to have the whole interior done by the end of this week. And it's Friday and I don't have it done. So I'm behind of being behind. So I got to get to it. It's early. It's only like 7 or 7:30 now. So if I put another, I don't know, 6 hours into this thing, I might get there. Let's go. All right, so I kind of got my butt kicked by this bar right here because it's got these legs that kick in. So, and the reason I'm having troubles with this here, well, I'm not having troubles. The reason I kind of had some troubles was I was overthinking it, but B, I really want this body to come off of the car, like of the chassis, and so I can powder coat the frame, like the whole frame. So I want the body to come off like Stacie's car. Okay, well, in order to do that, this thing has to be narrower than the narrowest part of the body, right? Which is down here. Okay, so I'm gonna cut all this out just so it's just the round edge of the body here. Okay, so this will fit. But also, these bars, I was not able to get that tight of a radius in there, and I didn't want to square them, so I had to run them with the radius of the bender, right? So I had to kick these in at 20-degree angle and then cope them and notch them. And then I had to do all the math to figure this all out. But I got it on one try. I didn't waste any material, which is good. I had to like hole saw like an extra 3/4 of an inch. No big deal. That's actually really good for, this complex of a, there's 4 bends there. And they're all square, they're all in line, it all fell together, it all lines up just how I want it. So I'm gonna be really happy with that. So next I have to build the bar that goes here and bends down. And then I gotta figure if I'm gonna put a bar, like a dash bar here, or if I'm gonna make the bend and run it under to the front of where the firewall is gonna be with the cowl extension up here. So I just gotta think about strength and rigidity and ease of working on this thing and mounting things and doing all of that, because at some point I'm gonna have to mount a steering column in here, and if I had that bar here, like kind of like I used to have, it would be very, very helpful. So I might do that. But yeah, so if I bend these, if I do this here and do this here and have a bar here, that's gonna be a really simple bend with a notch and a notch, and same with this side. I'm gonna make that really quick and make it really easy. I'll have a nice mounting spot for my steering column, for my dash, for my electronics that I put underneath the dash. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. It's not gonna be in the way of getting in and out of the car. So I'm gonna be, have a lot more room than I did before. So one thing I also was looking at earlier and messing with earlier is I bent all these tubes so the body would clear and I'd be able to mount the body really easy. And I was worried that I didn't leave myself enough room for pedals and stuff, but I got up in here, I measured the pedals and all that stuff, and I'm gonna have just enough room to be able to drive it comfortably, way more comfortable than I was before, but like I want it to be 100% free and comfortable, and I think I'm gonna do that no problem. So let's get to laying this dash bar out and then building these pieces. All right, y'all, it's been a long night. I haven't got much recording done. I got my butt whooped by this thing. Okay, so I made the main hoop. That was not a big problem. That was pretty easy. I made these bars. I don't have them in yet, but these bars are gonna, well, fuck it. I don't even know how to, it's gonna go from here up and over to here, right? I got both those made. But I was messing around and this thing kept moving on me. So I went ahead and I set my frame height at 5 inches. I welded this 5-inch piece of metal to my frame rack, and then I tacked my new frame to it. Okay, and then in the front here, I made these stands that are 5 inches tall and do the same thing. And that puts my body and my frame at 5 inches. The body will probably come up a 1/4 inch just so the frame is the lowest thing on the car. I just got tired of this thing moving around. I kept bumping it and moving it and bumping it and moving it. I have to measure. Now I don't have to worry about it. I know it's true. I know it's square. I know it's level. I did all the math. I did all the measuring. I got it all set up just the way I want it. So basically, excuse me. Oh, it's late. I don't know. It's like 1:30 or something stupid. But basically, now I can feel confident moving forward with building the in-cab stuff, knowing that it's going to be level and not moving around on me. Because that was like really bothering me. And it shouldn't have bothered me that much, but it did. So I just wanted to make sure that I am building this thing as true and square and level as I can, given the components I have. So here are those other bars I told you about. I have them made. I have them notched up here for the main hoop. So, and I did get the dash bar kind of mocked up, and I had a scrap piece that's going to be perfect for that. So I'll use a longer piece, set it up with some vice grips at the right height so I can get these other bars notched. And then once I have them notched, I'll probably like tack them to the main hoop, and then that way they'll kind of free hang and I can get my dash bar, the shorter one, the correct one, up in there without fighting everything. I'm doing this by myself. Kyle isn't here, wasn't here tonight. He hasn't been here a couple nights. I haven't asked him to be here. It's not that he's not like trying to help, but I haven't asked him to be here. I've just been trying to roll myself. He's preparing to move. He's getting packed up to move to his apartment, because we're all moving. We're moving out of the shop. We're doing all the big move here. I don't think too many people know about that yet. So, Stacie, I don't know if you want to put that in video or not. But that's it for tonight. I got a long day tomorrow. I got to finish exhaust on the Eleanor Mustang. Again, the mufflers, I don't know. We got them from Summit, and we're having a problem with them. So I got some different mufflers to put on it. But for tonight, that's it for me and the NASROD. Thank you guys. I will continue recording more and more and more. So stay tuned, stay watching. Good night.